Yo. So today we are going to be talking about defenders. There's several different ways to build them. Like you have your attack DPS defenders, your defense DPS defenders, and then you just have your normal, like the majority of the defenders, like just your solid tanks. So to start out, what am I looking for? Generally I search for pretty much all HP subs. Um, I think HP is by far the best substat when you're looking at tanks and defenders. Having a defense one isn't a big, it's not a big negative, but I'd search for HP first. So like as you see here, like Broke here, he still has like over 100% defense subs with this as well. So he's sitting around, I think it's like what 9K, 9.1K. Um, and for the most part, I'm usually looking at Guardian. I think Guardian is by far the best set on these right sides for defenders. You could make a case for Glacier occasionally. It's not bad. I've even seen some in Invig from time to time as well. Invig's not like a horrible option either. That'd probably be my second option, honestly, would be Invig. Just so other people are getting a bonus. But yeah, generally I'm looking for Guardian. The damage taken thing is just too big. Um, and then as far as subs, uh, always looking for defense, looking for defense percentage, defense, HP, and then like the next two I'm generally looking for is really just like rage regen and maybe attack speed, but attack speed's really not that big of a deal either. You're just looking for basically um, the main stats to get them a little beefier. Rage regen's nice just so you could try to get off those more ultimates. So if you can pick up some rage regen here and there, that is huge. Like you see 900 cost ultimates. So getting that extra rage regen is pretty nice to get those extra ults off. And then as far as left side sets, really like the starting set you're looking for is the Life Force. And then once you start farming the 19s, you're usually looking for this Immortal Warrior. Like most of my tanks I have in either of these two sets. Um, and it's the same thing in these as well. You're looking for the high HP percents, the high defense percents. And then the other two are great to have are HP and defense in these as well. Um, so you see, I got the high defense percentage, high HP percentage, and then good purple rolls in this one as well. And that's usually how most of these things I have are built. Full Guardian. Like a lot of these sets are just not that great either. And they're still pretty solid builds, I would consider. Your epics are definitely going to have lower stats compared to your legendaries, obviously. But yeah, for the most part, it's all these tanks are built these with these two sets in mind or three sets in mind with these changing as well. I still have him in Yellow Guardian just because I don't really use Baron as much. Um, and then as far as artifacts on these guys, I pretty much run Bastion Ring on just about everything or Olog's Wall. As far as like these traditional tanks, I don't really run any Regals. Like Regal's okay, wouldn't really use it anymore. Um, Death, I used this for a while at first. It's another one that's just okay. But generally, that extra blocking effect from the Bastion Ring is just so useful. Especially once you get later on and you start doing like the higher end Void Rifts and stuff. It's just probably considered the best. Vexro, I never really used. Which ones are more defenders? Heart of Thorn, I never used as well. I used Nightmare for a little bit, but it's not one I'd recommend anymore. Um, it was just something I used while I was waiting to get other ones. Uh, Watch Guard's Unity, I never really used. The only really watch guard I like using is the Ambition. And then the new one's interesting. It's not going to be for a traditional tank, that's for sure. But definitely probably wouldn't recommend on anything yet. But I think it does have some potential, but just not on the traditional tanks. Um, for that being said, on the traditional tanks, I think there is the one exception with Olog. I think the North's Will is probably like one of his best artifacts as well. I thought I had one leveled up, but I might have sold it when I was like desperate for some mithril. But yeah, that is one I would recommend for him as well. Is having a fully leveled North's Will. Very, very good to get him to have his own like pretty much self sustain. And then when we go into the attack based ones, um, I haven't had much use of Aurum yet. Um, there's a few tanks that fall in this category. I think Reeves, Captain Reeves one, Torador's another. I think that's it for the attack base, really. Azor, maybe. I don't know if he's attack or defense, to be honest. He might be defense. But yeah, another main one I use is Aurum, though. I use him now just because I can get him in high base stats, and he's decent for Tide. But he's like the same thing. I'm looking for attacks, and then I have a crit damage one on him just to kind of test him out as a big nuker. But these generally don't do too much damage. So what I'm looking for in these, obviously the attack stats, crit rates, crit damages, attack speeds, and then getting the defense and the HPs are just also useful in these too. Like, see this one, I have a yellow roll in HP. It's not gonna hurt me at all. He's a high crit rate base, so I'm a little bit over on this one. I think on yeah, this one I don't have an. I don't know. I switched it out. There it is. That's why it was lower. But yeah, got him in the Infernal Roar. That was just like the set I tried him on. Soul Bond's a possibility on this one as well. For Aurum at least. And then I'm just looking for the attacks, the HPs. Attack, high defense on this. But like I said, I don't use them too much yet. I got the Astral Obelisk on him, which I do think is the best. Like, I've been testing this on like another account with Cyrus. Um, and just that Rage Regen is so useful. Especially on him. You have his skills. He has a pretty high skill cost, so getting that extra Rage Regen is very, very nice. And this artifact should go up to 50, I'm thinking, for the max. And then the final one are your defense nukers. So Gon, I have him in defense, and defense here. Only 45k base HP, but he has almost 13k defense. He's crit capped. He's got some crit damage. That's another thing you could run on the bottom is like a crit damage with some defense subs. That would be acceptable as well. But generally, I would like to just have him as tanky as possible. I just have him in a random set right now. I was missing a crit rate piece for this. So, but ideally, I would like to have him in the Mortal Warrior as well. And same thing, you're looking for defense mains, defense subs. HP is always nice, and then your damage stats as well. And then as far as the artifact, I use Goddess Grace on him just to buff that defense even more. This does go off max, so he's gaining a ton of defense with this Goddess Grace. The other ones that are options on this one, wouldn't really touch Bloodlust on this one. I know it's like a commonly used one on like the Toreadors and stuff. Bastion's possible. I tested Obelisk. I think this is also an option just for that Rage Regen. So once I get one of these built up, I'll probably test that out as well, just so I could keep popping that ult for him. But generally, for the most part, I think the Goddess Grace is just going to be like one of the best options for Gone. But yeah, it's just going to be a quick one talking about some tank builds. Um, if there's any questions, write them down in the comments below. Let me know. Check out the Discord. That's going to be posted or in the pinned comments. But yeah, that'll do it for this one. Catch you guys in the next one. Later.